Welcome. We bring you Japan's latest news every day. AI sums up what matters, so you can stay informed in English in just a few minutes. If you find it helpful, please like and subscribe. Mudslide engulfs home in Hirao town, Yamaguchi. Missing man found dead, 3 others injured. A mudslide has struck Hirao town in Yamaguchi prefecture. On the night of the 26th, a collapse of a hillside behind a residential home caused mud and debris to flow into the dwelling. An elderly man living in the home had been reported missing, but was discovered on the afternoon of the 27th. He was later confirmed dead. The disaster has resulted in a total of 3 casualties and injuries, including the deceased man. As rescue operations continue, authorities are working to assess the full extent of the damage and investigate the cause of the disaster. Traffic update: train service suspensions, expressways, and air travel. Here is the current traffic situation. According to junior companies, major Shinkansen lines including the Tokaido, Tohoku, and Hokuriku Shinkansen are operating normally. Conventional railway lines are also running smoothly across the country with no major delays reported. Expressways nationwide are experiencing normal traffic conditions with no sections requiring special attention. Flights at major airports across the country are also operating as scheduled. However, there is a possibility that traffic may be affected by future weather changes, so we recommend that you check the latest information. Typhoon number 7 approaches. Risk of extremely heavy rain again in Tokai, Kanto and other regions. Typhoon number 7 is moving off the coast of the Tokai region. Developed rain clouds are flowing into the Kanto region, the Izu Islands, and Shizuoka Prefecture, creating a situation that requires heightened vigilance against landslides. The Japan Meteorological Agency has issued level 4 landslide danger warnings for some areas, calling for the highest level of caution. With the typhoon's approach, extremely heavy rain is expected through the evening of the 27th. Due to the large amount of accumulated rainfall, please be alert to ground instability and swelling rivers. We urge residents to check the latest weather information and evacuate without hesitation if they sense danger. Follow evacuation orders from local authorities and prioritize your safety above all else. Municipalities near Chornobyl nuclear plant sign agreement with Futaba town in Fukushima for reconstruction cooperation. Ukraine is marking the 40th anniversary this year of the major accident at the Chornobyl nuclear power plant, and surrounding municipalities are accelerating their reconstruction efforts. On the 26th, municipalities near the Ukrainian nuclear plant signed an agreement with Futaba town in Fukushima prefecture, which was also devastated by a nuclear accident. The agreement aims to share recovery experiences from nuclear disasters and provide mutual support. The Chornobyl nuclear plant experienced an explosion in 1986 and is recorded as the worst nuclear disaster in history. Meanwhile, Futaba town in Fukushima prefecture suffered significant damage from the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear accident following the 2011 Great East Japan earthquake. Both regions plan to leverage their experience facing similar challenges and exchange knowledge for future reconstruction efforts. Special Beatles exhibition opens in Harajuku, Tokyo to mark 60 years since the band's historic Japan visit. A special pop-up store has opened in Harajuku, Tokyo to commemorate the 60th anniversary of the Beatles' arrival in Japan this month. The store features rare concert footage from their legendary performance, released to the public for the first time in 6 decades. The British rock legends first visited Japan in June 1966, performing at the Nippon Budokan, where they captivated audiences across the nation. The new exhibition showcases historical performance materials and related merchandise from that iconic concert. The store offers fans a valuable opportunity to revisit the band's legacy and reflect on the profound impact the Beatles had on Japan's music scene. National Film Archive faces funding crisis as government subsidies decline, launches 100 million yen crowdfunding campaign. The National Film Archive, which preserves and exhibits film-related materials, is facing a serious funding shortage. With government subsidies being reduced, the organization says its operations are in critical condition and has announced it will launch a crowdfunding campaign to raise 100 million yen. The National Film Archive is Japan's only national institution dedicated exclusively to film, and it is responsible for preserving, restoring, and exhibiting valuable film reels and related materials. The decline in government funding threatens the continuation of these vital operations. The funds raised through the campaign will be used to maintain film storage equipment, conduct restoration work, and support digitalization projects. The organization is making a broad appeal for support to preserve and promote Japan's film culture. Ruling party advances diet seat reduction bill using committee authority as opposition refuses to participate. Regarding the bill to reduce the number of House of Representatives seats in the Diet, the ruling party decided today to begin deliberations using the committee chairman's authority. The ruling party aims to steadily advance discussions and achieve passage during the current Diet session. However, the opposition has indicated it will not participate in the deliberations, deepening the confrontation between the two sides. While the seat reduction aims to optimize the number of lawmakers, the opposition has raised concerns that a forced vote could be pushed through without sufficient explanation. Beginning next week, the Diet is expected to see debate between the ruling and opposition parties. However, the confrontational stance shows no signs of changing, and there is a possibility that the dispute over the bill's handling could intensify. Government's Basic Policy draft allows temporary deterioration of primary balance. The government has unveiled a draft of this year's Basic Policy on Economic and Fiscal Management, presenting new guidelines for fiscal operations. The draft positions the stable reduction of the debt-to-GDP ratio as the core of fiscal targets. Meanwhile, regarding the primary balance, the basic fiscal balance, the government will allow for temporary deterioration in response to economic fluctuations and other factors. This represents a shift from the previous strict goal of achieving a surplus to a more flexible approach. The move is seen as aimed at implementing dynamic fiscal operations responsive to economic conditions while balancing economic growth with fiscal consolidation. Magnitude 6.0 earthquake strikes Yamanashi Prefecture. Chief Cabinet Secretary reports power outages and water disruptions in some areas. A magnitude 6.0 earthquake has struck Yamanashi Prefecture. Chief Cabinet Secretary Kahara held a press conference shortly after 12:30 a.m. to brief reporters on the current damage situation. Power outages have affected approximately 2,860 homes in Yamanashi, Saitama, Ibaraki and other prefectures following the earthquake. Additionally, water supply disruptions have occurred in some areas of Yamanakakamura in Yamanashi Prefecture, and the government is continuing to assess damage to gas infrastructure. The government is conducting further investigations into the full extent of the damage and plans to provide updates as more information becomes available. Anthropic to resume providing AI model, Claude Sonnet 5 inches to some U.S. companies. U.S. artificial intelligence company Anthropic has announced it will resume providing its latest AI model, Claude Sonnet 5. The model had its service suspended to all customers on orders from the government, but will now be made available again to select U.S. companies and organizations. Anthropic has indicated it will proceed with limited provision of the model while ensuring safety and regulatory compliance, with prospects for expanding its customer base in the future. The resumption of this AI model is expected to accelerate AI adoption among U.S. companies. Fuji and SBI begin discussions on media business partnership to strengthen content offerings. Fuji Media Holdings, the parent company of Fuji Television, and SBI Holdings, a comprehensive financial services group, have announced the start of discussions toward a strategic business partnership in the media sector. The two companies are exploring collaboration across a wide range of business areas, from content production to distribution, including anime and dramas. In the entertainment industry, where digitalization and globalization are advancing rapidly, the companies aim to strengthen their competitive edge both domestically and internationally by combining content production capabilities with financial resources. The partnership is expected to realize higher quality content planning and production, and to lead to the expansion of distribution platforms. Shizuoka governor to announce decision on July 7, signal approval for linear Chuo Shinkansen construction in prefecture. There has been a development regarding the start of construction on the linear Chuo Shinkansen within Shizuoka prefecture. Shizuoka Governor Yasutomo Suzuki announced in the prefectural assembly on the 26th that he wishes to explain his decision on July 7. It is expected that on that day, he will express his intention to approve the start of construction within the prefecture. The linear Chuo Shinkansen is a major project connecting Tokyo and Osaka. Shizuoka Prefecture has so far withheld its decision on construction approval due to concerns about water resources stemming from tunnel work through the Southern Alps. With the governor's announcement, the likelihood has increased that this long-standing issue will be resolved. Major earthquake in Venezuela kills over 900, injures about 3,300 as rescue efforts intensify. A major earthquake exceeding magnitude 7 struck South America's Venezuela on the 24th, causing devastating damage. More than 900 people have been killed and approximately 3,300 injured. Two earthquakes occurred on the 24th, triggering numerous building collapses and landslides. With more than 48 hours having passed since the initial quake, rescue teams are accelerating their operations. The international community is stepping up support efforts, with various countries considering dispatching relief supplies and medical teams. The Venezuelan government has declared a state of national emergency and says it is committed to providing full-scale assistance to disaster victims and support for their livelihoods. Former Presidential National Security Advisor Bolton admits to illegally possessing classified information in plea deal. John Bolton, who served as National Security Advisor during former President Trump's first term, has agreed to a plea deal admitting to charges of illegally possessing classified information. Bolton initially resisted the charges, claiming retaliation from the administration, but has now reached an agreement with prosecutors. The case has drawn significant attention in the United States, where the handling of classified information by government officials is being scrutinized intensely. The incident is drawing particular attention following the discovery of classified documents at former President Trump's residence. Through the plea agreement, further details are expected to emerge during upcoming court proceedings. U.S. military strikes Iranian targets in response to drone attack on cargo ship. The U.S. military carried out strikes against Iranian targets on the 26th in response to an attack on a cargo ship in the Strait of Hormuz the previous day. President Donald Trump had condemned Iran, calling the attack a foolish violation of the ceasefire. The Singapore-flagged cargo ship Ever Lovely was attacked with a one-way attack drone on the 25th, though no casualties were reported. Following the attack, the United Nations International Maritime Organization suspended implementation of an evacuation plan for approximately 11,000 sailors stranded in the Strait of Hormuz due to the U.S.-Israel war against Iran. U.S. Central Command announced on the 25th that it had struck Iranian missile and drone storage facilities as well as coastal radar installations. In response, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps condemned the United States and Israel, claiming the cargo ship was attacked because it was navigating unauthorized routes through the Strait of Hormuz. Shortly before announcing the strikes, President Trump was asked whether the U.S. would retaliate against Iran, to which he replied, "You'll see." In a statement, U.S. Central Command described the strikes as a forceful response to the drone attack, stating that Iran's military's unjustified attack on commercial vessels is a clear violation of the ceasefire. Death toll rises from major earthquakes in South America's Venezuela, over 200 aftershocks recorded. The death toll from two powerful earthquakes that struck Venezuela on the 24th has risen to 920, according to Jorge Rodriguez, president of the Venezuelan National Assembly, who made the announcement on state television on the 26th. The quakes measured magnitudes 7.2 and 7.5 and struck in rapid succession. The number of injured stands at 3,360, with at least 172 people still believed to be trapped under rubble. Rodriguez, who is the brother of interim President Delcy Rodriguez, also reported that at least 243 people have been rescued from La Guaira state, which suffered the heaviest damage. The Assembly president stated that hundreds of buildings, including hospitals and shopping centers, have been damaged or collapsed. At least 1,000 infrastructure facilities have also been affected. Interim President Rodriguez said during a televised briefing that dozens of survivors were rescued, saying he was very happy that they were able to embrace their families and loved ones. The interim president also reported that 214 aftershocks have occurred since the initial earthquake. According to Interior Minister Diosdado Cabello, multiple states have been affected by the two earthquakes. The government says the aftershocks have had a major impact on the northern coastline, including the states of La Guaira, Aragua, Carabobo, and Falcon.